Hey there. Today we're talking about forgiveness, and I'm so sad that this is the last day I get to do this with you guys. But it doesn't have to be the last time that we talk. I want you to reach out via email. Let me know if it's been helpful to you, any feedback that you may have. And with that being said, let's hop on to our topic for today, which is forgiveness. All right. So many of us have spent our lives or our school times reciting the Lord's Prayer. And in that, we breeze by, we say, "Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us." It's something so fundamental but so easily forgotten. In the moments that we are offended, the last thing that we're thinking about is how to reconcile the person who hurt us. The last thing that we're thinking about is grace. In that moment, the only thing that we are cognizant of, the only thing that we're aware of, is how immensely hurt we are by someone else's actions. And I get it. I've been there. I've been in the place where it's been difficult for me to forgive. But I want to give you some tools today that will help you to overcome that process of forgiveness, help you to get through it with a little bit of grace. So the first thing that I do when I find it difficult to forgive someone is I pray for them. I pray for them the way that I would want to have someone pray for me. And it doesn't always start out that way. Sometimes I can barely muster up the energy to even say their name in the moment. But after a while, after making it a habit of praying for those who have offended you, you begin to find the ease and you begin to view them the way that God does. And what it does is it releases you from the burden of resentment and hatred. And so you're not bound by those things because there's no way for you to authentically pray for someone and still hold hatred in your heart for them. It's just not going to happen. When you allow Holy Spirit to do the work that is required, when you recognize that you can rest in the forgiveness of Jesus Christ that is not only afforded to you but to every person. You hear that? Every person has been afforded the opportunity of grace, has been afforded the gift of grace. And so it's not our right to withhold that gift from anyone because we've deemed them unworthy. So forgiveness is not optional. It's something that's required, and every relationship is going to require it because nobody is perfect, and people are going to offend you, and people are going to hurt your feelings, and it's not always going to be intentional, but that's not going to make it hurt any less. And so forgiveness is a very, very important thing to have. It's a very, very important skill to master if we're going to have healthy relationships. We have to be able to forgive, to restore, and to move forward, recognizing that what someone did does not dictate who they are. And we get to give people grace because we've been afforded grace first. We've been forgiven first. And so, by extension, we get to extend that level of grace, that level of love, that level of just embracing someone for the fullness of who they are and forgiving them for what they are not. We get to do that. We are privileged to forgive. Yeah, we get to do that. We get to forgive. We get to say, you know what? It's okay. And that does not mean that we stay in relationship with people who maliciously hurt us. That does not mean that we stay in relationship with people who purposely or repeatedly inflict harm on us. But it does mean that we get to move on from that moment without making a monument of it. It does mean that we get to move on from what happened, and we get to do it without carrying malice. We get to do it without carrying hatred. We get to do it without carrying resentment. We get to leave the situation burden free. That's what forgiveness does for us. And today, I want you to extend the gift of forgiveness to yourself. Forgive yourself for what you didn't know. Forgive yourself for what you didn't understand. Forgive yourself for what you allowed to happen in relationships. And forgive yourself for everything that you would have experienced, and forgive yourself for finding it hard to forgive others. And then once you've done that, once you've forgiven yourself, forgive everyone else. whoever it is that you're holding in your heart, whoever came to mind when you begin to watch this video and you begin to think, but she doesn't understand what they did to me. Believe me, I don't know what they did. I don't know how much it hurt you. I don't know how traumatic it was. But I do know that you have a choice to make. And you can either move on from that moment, or you can stay there and you can let it defeat you. And God has too much in store for you to be defeated by a moment or by anything that someone else did. You get the right. You have the right. Sorry. You have the right to forgive. And I want you to exercise it today. Release the burden. Go ahead. Forgive. You can do it. I believe in you. All right. Bye-bye. I want you guys to stay in touch. I hope that this has been helpful for you. I look forward to your feedback. I'm going to talk to you later.